Gotta believe it, folks. I do believe it. Do you know where they put light when it's bad? Do you know where they put light when it's bad? In the prism. I am thrilled today. I have messed up this interview so many times. I am ashamed of myself. And if it were not for the perseverance of the person to be interviewed, we would not have it. So I give my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Bill Bridges. And who is he? The city manager of the city of Augusta, Maine.
Bill Bridges, you're a city manager in the great city of Augusta, Maine, is that so?
I am.
Bill, what are the advantages of the city manager over the mayor system?
Well, from my perspective, having been in a position here in Augusta for the last 10 years and in several other communities over the last 30 years, I think that there is far less risk of politics getting in the way of the day-to-day administration of city government when you have a career professional municipal administrator doing that. I'm not trying to speak disparagingly about elected mayors who are my equivalent in cities that have that. I know many dedicated, intelligent, and terrific men and women who play that role. But in cities under 100,000 throughout the United States, the predominant form of local government is what's called a council-manager form of government. And that means you have an elected city council with a mayor and or a chair of the council, and that group hires a trained public administrator, like me, to do all the day-to-day executive functions of the government. The policies, all of the important policy decisions, are made by the city council, which typically includes a mayor who is the leader of the council. And then once the council decides what the policy is going to be, it's the job of the city manager to see that it's carried out without undue political influence or without special favor to anybody.
Oh, yes. Now, what would a boy or girl take starting in college as a preparation for a public administrator career?
Well, a good liberal arts background would be fine. There are many schools that offer at the undergraduate level majors in public administration or government. And ideally, if you knew as you were going into college that you wanted to make a career out of being a city or a town manager, you would find a program that offered good background in public administration. And as I say, there are many schools in most states that have such programs. There's a good one right down near New York City at Pace University, for example.
Oh, really? Which Pace, honey? The one in Westchester or the one in Manhattan?
The one in Westchester.
Oh, really? Oh, come to think about it, yeah, it's in Mount Kisco or something?
I think so, yeah. But Pace has a long tradition of training public administrators to be in local and county government. And I would suggest that municipal managers work very effectively at the county level as well as the city and town level.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So there's an opportunity as well. But, it seems to me you got to have several things, Glendora. You got to have a type of personality where you like to interact with other people. I think it helps to be somewhat extroverted, that you're comfortable in a setting where you're working with the public. You are certainly going to be called upon to speak publicly rather frequently on any of a variety of issues. You kind of be comfortable in your own skin, too. And by that I mean you can't be self-conscious about who you are and what your capabilities are.
You have to be your own person.
Exactly.
Is there, do most city managers go on to graduate school?
As a rule, today, yes. Early in the days of the profession 100 years recreation director and the librarian and the public works director. So it's much more of a generalist position. And the skill set is such. Now that's not to say that there aren't certain basics that a city or town manager is going to want to have, and you're going to want to understand something about public accounting in government accounting. That's called fund accounting as a discipline. You're going to want to know a little bit about public works administration and budgeting and I would say planning, municipal planning. Those are all things that you take specific coursework in master's degree programs. I'm going to guess and say that somewhere around half of the professional city and town managers in this country, and I think there are about 4,000 of them around the country, would have an advanced degree in government or public administration. Yeah.
It sounds pretty interesting, those things.
Well, I've got to tell you, I graduated from college in 1972, St. Michael's College in Vermont, with a degree in political science. I spent a couple years as a VISTA volunteer, and I really didn't know what I was going to do with myself. And after doing some grant writing work, I stumbled in Connecticut into this job as the assistant to the town manager of a town called Killingly, a lovely town
Oh, I know it.
rural Connecticut.
Up in sort of the quiet corner.
Exactly. And, I got hired to help out the town manager just as a sort of an entry-level position. And after a few months, I said to myself, wow, this is interesting. I like this work.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it was the town manager who became a mentor of mine and encouraged me to go to the University of Hartford, which is about 70 miles away.
Yep, know it well.
And to get my master's degree nights in public administration.
Good.
And so for several years I did that. I was still single, so it was a little easier. And
What was his name who helped you?
his name was Gary Stenhouse. He's still a town manager. He's a town manager of Derry, New Hampshire. And
Where New Hampshire?
Gary.
Oh, Gary, New Hampshire.
Gary, D as in David. Gary, New Hampshire.
I don't know where that is. Is it near
To the
Maine?
coast. It's not far from the coast. It's not too far from Portsmouth.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, Gary got me off on the right foot, and we're still the best of friends.
Oh, that's marvelous.
I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks at the National City Managers Conference, I'm sure.
Oh, where do you have that?
This year it's in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, I'll be down there for the third week of September for the week, and I will be catching up with old friends and go back now to 1976.
I think that's fine. And you also learn so much.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
Yeah.
People have asked me over the years, well, if you could do your life differently, what might you do? What career path might you follow?
Yeah.
And I typically say, I can't think of anything out there that I would rather do that I would find more fun and more stimulating
Yes.
than what I have chosen.
Yeah,
And,
you sound as though you like it.
I love it.
Yeah, you sound like you're a perfect fit. Now, where'd you go from,
Killingly?
Yes.
Well, in 1979, I had earned my master's degree, and I was 29 years old. I was still single, and it was time for me to be pushed out of the nest as an assistant and to land my own city manager's job.
Good.
And they were looking for a city manager in a little coastal town way down east in Maine, right on the Canadian border, where Maine and New Brunswick come together along the Bay of Fundy.
Yes.
Calais. Just like Calais, France, only pronounced Calais.
Oh, I know. We used to go to Calais when I lived in Prescott.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, we used to go over there and eat. There was a great restaurant over there.
Calais was beckoning, and I had grown up in Aroostook County.
Oh, you did?
Yes, in Caribou.
In Caribou, yeah.
And my family moved to Massachusetts when I was a teenager, so this was like coming back to Maine for me.
Sure.
And so I got hired in Calais in 1979, and I went there, and I was there 6 years, city manager, and that's where I met my wife.
finally one of them got up enough courage to say, "You told us you were the best guide in the state of Maine." And he said, "Hey, yeah, I am, but right now I think we're in Canada." What were some of the other towns up around there? There was,
You mean in the Calais area?
no, Limestone, yeah, there was...
That's in the county. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Limestone, where the air base was.
Yep.
And one of my brothers was born in Van Buren.
Yeah, is that the highest one? Is that the closest to the border?
Van Buren is right on the border, right about 3 miles from Grand Falls, New Brunswick, where my mother came from.
Oh, she came from there too?
Yeah. Both my parents were from the St. John Valley.
Did you know the Erskines? Did you know Roger Erskine, John Erskine?
I did not. See, we moved away when I was in high school.
Yeah,
So,
you know, you sound exactly like me. We moved away from Bangor when I was in high school, just where you were, to Massachusetts.
Yeah, so we both know what a transition, what a challenging transition that can be. But in some ways, it makes us better prepared to face all the challenges in life, don't you think?
I think it's a challenge for the people of Massachusetts, not for us.
And after 6 years in Calais, I was ready to move on to a bigger job and progress up through the profession. And they were looking for a city manager in the lovely Finger Lakes city of Canandaigua, New York.
Oh, sure.
Which is 30 miles southeast of Rochester.
Right, and coming into Binghamton.
To the west of Binghamton, that's right.
Yep.
And so I went to Canandaigua, and Janice and I thought we would be out there for a few years. And we woke up one day and we'd been there 11 years. And in that period of time, Canandaigua treated us very well. And then we found ourselves at a point where our children were going into the 7th grade and the 4th grade, and we knew that if we were going to make another career move, that we had to do it soon, or they were going to be high school age, and it was going to be too traumatic for them.
Oh.
So in 1998, 10 years ago, the capital city of the great state of Maine was advertising and recruiting for a city manager.
Oh, good, and you got it.
And they had 125 applicants.
Oh, my goodness, really?
Yeah, and it came down to me, and
that's
in the end, it was a marriage made in heaven.
That's wonderful. 125.
Yeah, the last decade here has just flown by. I'm 58 years old now, and with a little bit of luck, I'll be able to stay in this job until I want to retire, which I hope won't be for a long, long time.
Oh, this is a good life. Yeah, you've had a good life.
Yeah, I'm staring right out now at the beautiful Kennebec River. The Kennebec is one of the biggest rivers in the Northeast.
It's a beauty.
And it flows right through the middle of the city of Augusta.
Oh, it does. And
Augusta is unique in Maine in that it's about the only community that has itself on both shores of a river, usually from one or the other.
Yeah.
And but here the river goes right down in the middle, and my windows in City Hall look right out at it, across the downtown,
and my nephew Stephen Folsom, he's on the west side of the Kennebec, and my brother Gordon, he's on the east side of the Kennebec.
Wow.
Yeah, and it goes right through Gardner.
Yes, it does. My wife came from Gardner.
That's right.
Yeah. We're very, very fortunate to be here,
well, they're fortunate to have you. I think that's terrific.
Yeah.
You've got good spirit, and you love what you do.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I would encourage anybody, any youngster who thinks they might like a career in government to explore municipal management, city or town management. You know, we have a very, very good national organization, and they have a lot of literature on their website about the career of municipal management.
Do they?
Yeah. It's called the ICMA, the International City Management Association.
Oh, that's great.
And all you got to do is go to www.icma.org, and you're there.
Oh, that's good.
So, and you know, I also think it's very safe to young person who has an interest in government that they probably live in a community or near a community that has a city or town manager.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, having been president of the New York State City Managers Association.
Oh, you were?
Yes, I was. I can tell you that we place a high value on encouraging young people to look at the profession.
Oh, this is a perfect program for that.
And anybody in my profession would love to carve out a little time and sit by appointment with a young person and talk to that person about the career and the business and what it's all about.
Oh, goody.
So if you're a kid listening to this, and by kid I mean a high school or college student, and you've got such an interest, if you live in Westchester County, New York, virtually every village and town in Westchester has a municipal manager.
Oh, really?
Yep. And very strong tradition of management. A lot of communities on Long Island do, and most of the major communities in upstate, not the big cities, but cities like Canandaigua, like Plattsburgh, and Poughkeepsie, and Peekskill, and Geneva, and Elmira, and Corning, and you name it. They all have municipal managers.
Does Albany?
Albany is a strong mayor community,
Oh, okay.
And they don't. But you can also Google the Municipal Management Association of New York State,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they have a website, and they list all of their members and all the communities that have municipal managers, and people can get information that way also.
You have been terrific in making this career look very inviting and making it look very accessible.
Well, I've enjoyed this conversation with you very, very much.
Well,
It's
thank
not often I get to get this quality time with a fellow Houston County native.
And also the fact that we both had Lyme disease.
Exactly, and we're both recovering Lyme disease people, or maybe shall we say recovered Lyme disease people.
Well, boys and girls, this has been Mr. Bill Bridges, who's the city manager of Augusta, Maine. Bill, you've been so generous with your time. Thanks.
I'm very happy to have helped. Bye-bye, Glendora.
Bye-bye, but don't hang up.
Oh, he's terrific. What a great personality. That's the kind of a personality I think you should have if you're going to be a city manager. Well, I want to thank him very, very much. I like him a lot. All right. I'm going to tell you some jokes. This is Glendora, a cheerful look at life. The colleges are getting very strict in the athletic department about giving an athlete his letter. He's not going to get his letter until he can tell you which letter it is. And you heard about the football team that turned down its invitation to the Sugar Bowl because the quarterback had diabetes. A man was watching the Monday Night Football, and when his wife got up in the morning, the man was asleep in the chair in the living room, and she says, shakes his shoulder, and she says, wake up, wake up! It's 20-7. He says, whose favor? The Czechoslovakian football player was asked to read the bottom line of the eye chart, and he says, read it, I know him. There was an unusual obituary in the newspaper. It said the family requests that instead of donating flowers, please send all donations to Visa, MasterCharge, and American Express. Folks, you can always trust your undertaker. He's the last person in the world to let you down. And the woman said, well, the husband said to the wife, no, she said to him, you have to water your plants. You have to talk to your plants. And he said, well, I never heard any of them answer you. And she said, well, that's because they're mums. And the boyfriend told the girlfriend, he says, when I look into your eyes, time stands still. And as she was thinking it over, she decided that's not so good, because actually he was saying, you have a face to stop a clock. And the woman said, you're so wrapped up in golf, you don't even remember our wedding day. He says, I do too. It was the day that I sunk that 100-foot putt. And the judge went to the doctor to see about his brain scan. And the doctor said, I don't know, Your Honor. He says, you know there is a left side to the brain and a right side to the brain. And the judge says, well, that's normal, isn't it? And the doctor says, yes, but in your case, on the left side there's nothing right, and on the right side there's nothing left. This is Glendora, A Cheerful Look at Life. We thank you very much, Mr. Bill Bridges. We're going to have many interviews by city managers, because I think this is a career that you can do a lot with and make a lot of yourself with. And I want you to think about things like that instead of the other stuff that's on TV that's so bad. I want you to get into this and start thinking about it for an early age. And as Robert Wright, the president of the National Broadcasting Company and chief executive officer, as he told you, you have to have a goal. You have to have a goal. It has to be in your mind, and you have to keep working on it. He was very good on this subject. Okay. If you enjoyed the show tonight, please tell your friends. And if you didn't, keep it our little secret.
Write to me, Robert Schuler, Garden Grove, California. Do it now, before you forget.
Hello everybody, it's Glendora, a chat with Glendora.